Today, I'll be showing you how to take your out-of-the-box drums from sounding like this to this. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This is the third time I'm doing this this video, so third time lucky. Today I'm really excited to go through how to take your drum mix to the next level. Today we're using Get Good Drums, the downbeat, just incredible library, really easy to use. And all of these techniques I'm going to be going through today with you guys can be applied to your own raw recordings, to any other drum kits. These techniques are really just the foundation and tools for you guys to get a massive drum sound and just take your mixes to the next level. So as you saw in the intro, I did a little A-B comparison, and at the end I'm going to be showing you guys an A-B comparison in the mix as well, which is really important because that is where I find we really see the biggest differences in the mix. So if we just load up Get Good Drums here, the preset I'm working with is all the way up multi-out. Very important because we're doing multi-outs today. We're going to be processing the drums even further. The all the way up preset, if you look at the mixer, has some EQ and compression applied. This is very light EQ and compression. They've done a very good job. It's very tasteful, but we're going to take it a step further today. So I've routed, if you're in America, routed everything out into its own channels. So we've got the kick. I'm not using the normal snare. I'm using the side snare here because it's just a lot, it's more massive sounding. Okay, that's unprocessed. And everything's being sent to a parallel chain. This is critical, which we'll go through in a second. And then everything's being routed to a drum bus. And this is also where a lot of the magic happens. Okay. So let's start with the kick drum. Really not much going on here. We've got our Pro Q and we're scooping out some mids at about 140 just to clean up the low end and to get rid of that sort of honky, low mid tone in about the 140. This is off. And on. That's what we're getting rid of, that honky sort of tone. Really tightens up the low end a lot. Okay. Next we have the side snare. I'm not using the normal snare, I'm just using side snare. I've got some EQ here, just bumping up the highs to give it more attack. This is off. And on. Okay, just cutting out some low rumble. The toms I literally left as is. I panned the rack tom to the left and the other floor toms middle and to the right. Overheads, we've got some light EQ here. Again, just scooping out some of the mids. This is off. And on. Okay, so just clearing out a lot of the mid range to make sure it doesn't all bunch up and become a bit messy in the mid-range. We've got a mono channel here. Again, not much going on here, just some roll-off of the EQ. Okay, and then the room is where things start to get a bit more exciting. I've started off with an 1176, again, just the go-to of a compressor for drums. Fast attack, fast release, and we're smashing it. So this is off. And then on. Like 10 dBs of gain reduction. Off. And on. Cool, and we're actually peaking a lot lower. It sounds massive, but we're actually peaking a lot lower than when it's off. Then we've got some EQ here. Again, boosting up some of the highs here. I think it was quite a dark room, so just boosting up the highs here, but this is off. And on. Okay, so just brightening up the room there. And then I do have the reverb that's coming out of Get Good Drums here. They do have a reverb. I've just put it too long. I thought I wanted to use as much as possible from this drum kit. Obviously, the parallel we're going to do ourselves. Okay, so the parallel bus from Get Good Drums, I've actually muted. There's nothing wrong with it. I just wanted to use my own. I think I think I could get, the sound that I was after a little bit better. Not to say that this is bad. So I've just muted it here. But as for the reverb, this is what that sounds like. Let me turn it up a bit for you so you can hear. Okay. Just turning it up a little bit so I don't mess with my fader. We've got some EQ, just sorting out some low mids and giving it a boost at the top. And then I'm also compressing it quite a lot. Again, sort of similar like what we're doing with the rooms, and it's just to bring up that room sound. This is with it off. And on. So it just extends that reverb tail and makes the reverb just a little bit larger. Yes, we could do it by ourselves and put on some reverb. I think this does just fine. I'm just going to take off this volume plugin. So I have all of these being processed with some compression and some EQ. Really nothing crazy going on there. I want to then move on to the mixer here to show you guys what we've got in terms of how I've set up this parallel track here. So I'm sending every single one of these drum tracks to a parallel bus, and then this parallel track, sorry, not a parallel bus, it's a parallel effects, send rather, and then this parallel send with everything else is going into our drum group, our drum bus, which is then being further processed. I've got it on mute for now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just do an A/B. I'm going to keep it on mute, and then I'm going to unmute it so you guys can hear the massive difference. This is where the real magic starts to happen. This is off and on. Massive difference. This is a big part of the new alternative sort of modern drum sound is parallel compression. Yes, I know we're getting a lot more gain in there. When I do the final A/B test at the end, you'll see it will be gain matched. I promise. The peaks will be matched, and you'll hear how much more massive the drum sound. Okay. So on the parallel bus, again, our old friend here, the 1176, fast attack, fast release. We're smashing it at 12 to 1. Let's see how much gain reduction we're getting. I think we're getting quite a lot. Okay, so like 10 dBs of gain reduction. And you guys can blend your parallel, amount into taste. You can have more compressed, you can have less compressed. And then everything at the end of the day goes into this drum group, okay? So even the parallel send with everything else is being processed as a group. The first thing, as you might have guessed, 1176 medium slow attack fast release. This is giving us some glue. I think we're only getting about 3 dBs of gain reduction. This is off and on. Really glues it together nicely, just makes the kit feel like just one powerful thing. The next, we've got some Pultec EQ. I'm driving up 30 hertz quite a lot, but then I'm attenuating as well. So we get that Pultec scooped kind of sound. Little bit of brightness there at 8K. This was off. And on. Okay, so it's just giving us that classic Pultec sound, cleaning up a lot of that low mids, giving a boost to the sub frequencies there at 30, giving a little bit of shine at the top. Then, if you guys have seen my other videos, really love this. It's a big distortion, gain, over compressing kind of plugin, and we're mixing in 2%. This does a lot, just to again just get another 3-4% out of the drums. This is off. Okay, so again, just getting more power out of it. Then we've got the clipper, very important. This isn't really made to be heard. It's to shave off any stray kind of peaks so that when we go into our master bus, we're not hitting our limiter and our compressors and EQs with too many peaks here. So I'll show you. We're just slicing off a lot of like the snare transients, so it doesn't overload our compressors on the master. Cool. It's retaining all of the punch without it's overloading, our master bus. And then I've put a little volume plugin in here to just make sure that I gain match everything when I do the final A/B comparison again, because I know you guys, I don't want to mislead you guys with things being louder, because sometimes louder does sound better to the human ear. Okay. And that is pretty much it. I want to quickly do one more A/B comparison, and then we can have a look and see how this actually translates in the context of a mix, which I think is very important. So I'm going to start with everything off, and then I'm going to turn everything back on again to show you where we landed up. I think that makes a massive difference. And one more thing, guys, that I forgot to mention is I'm sending the kick, snare, and everything to the parallel send at 100% at 0 dB. It's only the room mics here and the overheads that I'm doing about 50% of that. Okay, everything else, tom snare, it's just sent at a full amount, and we're just blending that in. Okay, so let's have a look at a comparison with how it fits into the mix. I've also done some mastering here. So I've done a little mastering effects change, so we can really hear in the context of a mix how the drums sound. I've written a little guitar idea with some bass. I think let's start with everything off, and then I'll turn everything on in the context of a mastered idea. Okay, so this is off. So there you guys have it. You guys can use these techniques on your own productions, from your own drum sounds, your own drum sound recordings. These techniques work on any kind of material. And I hope there was something in this that you guys found helpful and that you learned. And I will be out with a new video soon. And please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys on the next one.